make it real simple for us, more complex for the offense, and then kind of go from there.
All right, next we'll go to Michael Terrazas.
Hey, Matt, thank you for doing this. Are you looking to play Ben Bannigan in a larger role this season? And how has he responded to a disappointing 2020 campaign?
Yeah, so Ben Bannigan is in a good spot right now. And I say that because, competition brings out the best in everybody. So that's what we're looking for. So we obviously drafted a couple of defensive ends, and that's just the reality of the NFL. And so competition is there, and it's in the room. So we're excited about where we see everybody fit in. And a lot of those defensive linemen can play along the lines, so we're excited about where they are. It's going to be the coaches' jobs and the GM and the scouting and Coach Frank to be able to look at that and say, where do these guys fit? Where do these pieces fit? So we're looking at that. That's going to be a process all the way through training camp, all the way through preseason, and then we'll decide from there. But Michael, that people, this is a hard game and guys get hurt, so people are going to have to play. So Ben Bannigan is, however fast he rises up, he's going to have to play during the course of the season, as is Toure. And once Dial gets healthy, he's going to be in their plan. So, we're excited about the depth that we have because we're going to use it and we're going to need it.
All right, next we'll go to Destin Adams.
Thanks, Coach, for doing this. My question is, just from the little bit that you've had to look at the defensive rookies in rookie camp and mini camp so far, who's stood out to you? Who's already picking up the playbook pretty nicely, things like that?
Okay. I would just say that Kwity Paye, he's just picked it up really good. In fact, Dial as well, the two defensive ends that we drafted there pretty early, those guys are special in terms of their functional intelligence. They're able to pick things up at a really fast rate. We've obviously trained different defensive ends that we've brought in there over the course of the years, and these guys are as bright as anybody. I mean, they really are, and it's a pleasant surprise to see. It's one thing when you have it in the classroom, but can you take it from the classroom onto the field, and then operate in a walkthrough setting, and then you got to take it from a walkthrough setting and operate at fast speed during the drills and during team periods. And those guys have done the, step 1 and 2. And then obviously during training camp, now we're going to be able to see them go full speed because we were kind of in a jog through mode during this off-season activity that we just did. But so we're excited about those defensive ends for sure.
All right, then we'll go to Cody Felger.
Hey, Matt, thanks for doing this. I'm curious, with the loss of Anthony Walker in free agency, that must signal a level of confidence in Bobby Okereke and these other linebackers in the room. So I'm curious, what about Bobby and these other linebackers make you feel confident in your decision to let a starter, a guy who started games for you like Walker, leave this offseason?
Yeah, I would say that really, when you look at Bobby, what he's done over the last couple of years, he's really done a nice job of splitting that time at the Mike linebacker position, and he's done a nice job. Obviously, his rookie year came on the scene, did a really nice job. We thought he had a solid year last year, and we think he's ready to make a big jump here. And he's working on things that are just basic to football. Bobby is, and they're really about footwork and keys and getting him faster to the ball and making him, hit the ball more. And have a competition with Darius to see who can do that better, and so those guys are really excited about it. And I really think that with the continuity with Bobby playing alongside Darius the entire time rather than splitting time, I think that will actually enhance his game and enhance our defense. So we're excited about that as well.
Rashad McGinnis.
Yes, thank you again for doing this and taking time out.
Sure thing, Rashad.
Marvell Tell. We saw him flash as a rookie, but obviously opted out last season due to COVID. How he's looked so far in OTAs?
Yeah, so, we were pleasantly surprised with how he looked. He came back in. He was in outstanding shape. He's been doing different things like yoga, and his body looks really good in terms of what he's done, the work he's put in over the course of the year. And I just see a different level of maturity. I know it's been a year, but it just seems like him being away from the game, I think he really, felt how much he loves the game of football and how much he missed it. And I think he has a better appreciation for the game of football and where he is. And I think he knows he's in a prove it spot, where he's got to go out and prove it and earn it. And we're certainly, wanting him to do that because we know what kind of talent he is. Because he, rookie year came out and just really played really nice for us at times. And expecting him to make that big jump this year. So there's going to be a lot of competition in that corners room, and we are pumped about that.
All right, Jeremy Swopes.
How's it going, Coach?
Hey, Jeremy, how you doing?
Very good, very good. I was wanting to know, with the losses of Anthony Walker and Danico Autry and Justin Houston, are there any players specifically that you're looking to step into those roles and maybe make a jump out this year and really break out?
Yeah, so obviously all three of those players were productive for us. You know, they are mature players that had a maturity to them in our unit that's going to be hard to replace. There's no doubt about that. But I will say this: we feel really good about where Tyquan Lewis is at our in spot and him playing in that position. We feel really good about that. We also feel really good about where Teray is. You know, Teray is going to be healthy for the first time in a long time. And he's been working his tail off to get to that point. He's in a good spot mentally and physically, so we're excited about that. And also, we got Quiddy. You know, Quiddy's a guy we just drafted. He's just uber quick. You know, I just found this out. Well, I didn't find it out, but I was saying, how do you move that fast around those cones? He goes, well, you remember, Coach, that I played halfback in high school. I said, well, yeah, I remember that now, but you could tell that he looks like a halfback going around those cones for sure. So we're excited about him there. And then, the third spot is the Mike linebacker. And, like I stated before that, Jeremy, that Bobby Okariki's played there half the time for the last 2 years. So we're excited about where he is and the production that he's going to bring. So we're in a good spot. We got younger at those positions, and, we're going to fill those holes with some good players.
All right, got time for a few more here. Elliot Denton Singh.
Hi, Coach. Thanks again for doing this. In terms of the defensive line, obviously you've added a lot of pieces. How do you see that playing out in keeping everyone happy with the competition? And also with the 3 technique defensive tackle spot, who do you see to be stepping up in terms of depth behind DeForest?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And the depth in terms of who's going to play where and all those things, that's going to be worked out during training camp. So we're looking at those things right now. I don't think those things can be solved right away. I actually think that sometimes coaches put these roles on players too early, and without looking at them first. And I think that you ought to let that happen naturally, where you look at guys over a course of a week, 2 weeks during training camp into some preseason, and then they start to define their own roles through their production. So I think sometimes as coaches, we kind of put these guys in boxes, and sometimes I think that hurts our vision a little bit. We don't want to do that. So we've been very conscious not to do that. So we want to make sure that we keep an open mind with where the roles are. And this is really at any position. So we're looking at the backup, 3, the backup 1, the backup in spots. And again, that's going to be a process that we need to go through.
Stephen Burton.
Hey, Coach, thanks for taking time again. To kind of piggyback on what you were saying earlier, I guess with Quiddy coming in and looking as good as he has, how have you seen Teray respond?
Well, Teray's been on the side. He's still going through rehab. But like I was saying, Stephen, that we think that he's really in a good mental state right now. He's got a great mindset. His frame of mind is really good. He's been studying. He's been engaged in meetings. He's at their walkthrough, paying attention, listening. Coach Race coaches him up on the side, as well as Brian Baker. So he's in a good spot, and we're just excited about him getting him fully healthy and letting him, turning him loose, and then see where it goes from there. But yeah, he's doing well.
All right, and then we'll finish here with Matthew Radden.
Oh, yes, sir. I really appreciate you taking my question. I know we talked about a lot of guys, from Quiddy Pay, to a lot of guys in the backfield. Is there anybody that you want to highlight in particular? Anybody that we haven't talked about that you think has really done a good job so far?
Yeah, there's so many guys. I would say, I've been impressed with Kenny Moore. Kenny's done in terms of his leadership this offseason, the way he's moved around in drills and what he brings to the table, and just in terms of being an all-around player and all-around person. I just can never say enough about Kenny Moore. So I would just want to highlight him because he's everything we stand for, and we're certainly glad that we have him. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt.
Coach.
All right. And we will be joined by Coach Brady momentarily. All right, guys, same thing for Coach Brady. If you got a question, go ahead, put it in the chat function, and I'll call on you one at a time.
All right,
Coach, how's it
guys.
going?
How's it going?
Good. How are you, Coach?
Doing well.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started with, one second, Coach. Destin Adams.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for doing this. With Eric Fisher sidelined currently and most likely at least a couple of weeks during the regular season, who are some names that are sticking out to you so far through minicamp that could possibly fill that void at left tackle early?
Right. I mean, we brought in, Chris did a good job of giving us some depth. I think that's one thing that's one of our strengths now that we have going into training camp is depth at the O-line position, especially at the tackle position with Sam Tevy, Julian Davenport, Will Holden, those guys that have experience. That's going to help us. And then we'll let them go and compete. Obviously, Sam has the most experience being a starter the last 2 years. So he's going to have the opportunity to win that spot. But and from what we saw on film, we believe in him.
Michael Terrazas.
DeMichael Harris showed promise in 2020. Where is he at in his development, and can he be a guy for you guys to where you say, I have to get the ball in this guy's hands right here?
Yes. I mean, he did show promise last year. He did some very good things, had his moments. We saw a lot from him from training camp, watching him develop throughout the season and then making some plays throughout the season when he got his opportunities. He does bring a different element to the game for us, and it's going to be a big training camp for him to go out there, continue to produce, show us what he can do, and see how he can help us as an offense.
Lawrence Owens.
Hello, thank you for doing this again. When it comes to the skill positions, I was curious how you felt about the diversity in the physical attributes and skill sets at those, and how important is that to you when it comes to game planning, drawing up plays and stuff?
I think that's very important as far as just being multiple as an offense, that you're going to have the quick twitch guys that can make plays when you just get the ball in their hands, or you have the guys that have the long speed, the Paris, the TYs, those guys that can stretch the field and make plays down the field. You got the Pittman. He's one of those actually big, strong, get him the ball. I mean, he's great after the catch. He's physical at the top of the route, so he does good things. And then obviously our backs. I mean, they're all explosive and fast and have different elements to their game. I mean, and then even when you talk about just the three guys in our tight end room, and not just three. I mean, obviously we got a full group, but you're talking about Mo Alley Cox, Jack Doyle, Connie and Granson that we just drafted. Obviously, all three of them bring just different things to the table. And so it just opens up our offense just to make it tougher on defense to be multiple using their skill sets.
All right. Cody Felger.
Hey, Marcus, thanks for doing this. I had a question about Paris Campbell. So had some unfortunate injuries so far in his career, but we saw a little glimpse at the beginning of the season of what he can do in this offense. So my question is, if he can stay healthy, what do you imagine his role will be in this offense in 2021?
Well, I'm hoping it's a big role because he's an explosive player. He's strong, he's fast. He can he's going to create big plays. So I'm looking forward to it. He's had a great offseason. He's been out here throwing with Carson, running routes, and we're opening up the route tree for him. He's doing stuff from the slot, from the outside. He could be a big part of our offense and really stretch the field and create explosive plays, which we need in our offense.
Evan Sattery.
Marcus, thanks for doing this. How do you feel Carson has implemented the playbook so far? I know it's only been a couple weeks, but how do you feel he's adjusted so far?
I thought he's done great. Some of it is similar to what he done in Philly, being with Frank prior. It's really just the different terminology that we use here that he had to get adjusted to. And then it's really just, trying to fit some of the things that we do with what his strengths are and what he likes. And then some things that as an offense that we do that we know we've created that foundation that we like, that we have to get him up to speed. And I think that blend has gone very well over the few weeks.
Jeremy Swopes.
Hey, thanks for your time, Coach. I guess I just wanted to ask you, coming from your background in the Canadian Football League and moving on to the Indianapolis Colts and climbing the ladder as a coach, what does it mean to you to have this opportunity to be an offensive coordinator with this team?
Well, it means a lot. As far as just my story is, going up to Canada to continue pursuing my career both as a player and then eventually as a coach. And then getting the opportunity down here in the NFL, knowing that was one of my longtime goals. Obviously, it's just I'm excited about it. I'm proud of what I accomplished. Much more for me to accomplish ahead. But I also use it as for others to, hopefully I can inspire others that they, whenever they face any struggles, it's not going to go always as planned. It's like, just got to work hard. Your time will come, and I just got to keep working.
Elliot Detton-Singh.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for this. In terms of the running back room, it's quite a busy room. How do you see, especially Marlon Mack's role going forward with him being brought back and also mixing in, still getting Jonathan Taylor touches and also Naheem and Wilkins? Well, it's good to have all those weapons. They all could do great things with the ball in their hands, and we're doing a good job as a staff of using them all. Obviously, Jonathan is going to have a lead role. Marlon's working his way back in from injury. But obviously he's been great for us as well. Prior to the injury, Naheem brings another element. And then Jordan as well. You're talking about four very good backs that bring four different things. And, it's going to be tough as coaches, but at the same time, it's a good problem to have because they're all skilled. They're all going to perform well. So we're just looking forward to what they bring.
All right, Stephen Burton.
Hey, Coach, thanks again for taking time. I'm just curious, with your experience coming in the CFL and kind of the known nature of it to be so wide open, how does that kind of affect your philosophy offensively? And how does that kind of match up with Coach Reich with what he wants to do?
Well, part of it is just looking at, we did a good job this offseason amongst the entire staff. Is there other concepts or schemes that we want to add to our offense? Does it fit our offense? Does it fit the players that we have? And yes, there's some things that I've done in the past in Canada that actually have been done down here in the NFL. So we're trying to blend some of that and see if it fits us, try it out these last 2 weeks, or try some of it in training camp, see if we can open up our offense a little bit.
All right, and then we'll finish here with Rashad McGinnis.
How you doing, Marcus? Obviously, you and Frank watched a ton of tape on Carson before the decision to bring him in. What has been the most impressive thing you've noticed about him now that you've gotten a chance to see him up close?
Up close, I mean, just how big and strong and athletic he is. He's a big man, but he moves very well. I'm excited about that. You know, you see it on film that he's able to break tackles, extend plays, which is, you know, it's a change from Phillip, who's a different, right? He's a straight pocket passer, get the ball out of his hands. Carson just brings another element of being able to extend plays. And so looking forward to that. I've thought he's done a great job, just leadership, amongst the players, both on and off the field. I think it's been a great offseason. Looking forward to training camp and continue, working with him.
All right, Coach Brady, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thanks, Christian.
Thanks, Christian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.